So there are over 13,000 sales books on Amazon.com for sale. But when you look at how many sales leadership and sales management books there are far, far fewer. Okay, I don't know how many exactly. There's certainly not 13,000. And sales managers and sales leaders are kind of left to their own devices to figure out just how to do this job exceptionally well. So when I first became a sales manager for the first time, I went on a mission to find and read all of the best sales management books so that I could take my career to the next level. And I probably read somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 of them. So in this video, I am going to share 16 sales management books that every sales leader should read, and the ones that are actually worth a damn and worth reading. Now, before you get started, I want to hear from you. Write down in the comments what your favorite sales leadership book is. That way we can expand the knowledge and expand the list of recommended sales leadership books. With that said, let's get into the list. Number 1, The Qualified Sales Leader. This is written by a guy named John McMahon, who, as far as anybody knows, he's the only person on the planet to be the chief revenue officer of 5 different publicly traded companies. BMC is probably the most popular one. And this book is my favorite sales leadership book. He tells a lot of stories. He keeps it very engaging throughout, and it has rocketed to popularity in just the last couple of years, and for good reason. Number 2, The Sales Acceleration Formula by Mark Roberge, who was the first chief revenue officer at HubSpot and helped grow the company from literally $0 in revenue to well over 100 million and beyond. And in the Sales Acceleration Formula, Mark walks you through a formulaic approach to coaching salespeople, to hiring salespeople, and a few other tips and tricks to being an exceptionally good sales leader. Number 3, The Sales Manager Survival Guide by David Brock. This is the blocking and tackling guide to being a great frontline manager. He talks about everything from deal review and deal strategy to coaching salespeople to increase their skill capacity to managing up, sideways, and below. Number 5, Cracking the Sales Management Code. If you want to become an absolute master at running your business by the metrics and by the numbers, this is the book for you. It's going to teach you 3 levels of business metrics, business objectives, and sales metrics, and how to craft your own metric system so that you can run your business as a repeatable revenue machine. Give that one a read. Number 6, Topgrading for Sales. There's a book called Topgrading, and this is an extension of that book, Topgrading for Sales. Topgrading is a rigorous approach to hiring so that you're only hiring A players. So the promise of the book is you will have a 90% success rate of hiring only A players. And Topgrading for Sales is essentially the sales version of Topgrading, and it teaches you how to interview somebody's career history in a way that helps you find patterns, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Number 7, Aligning Strategy and Sales. This book is particularly good for second-line leaders who have aspirations of going into the executive ranks. It's great for people who are already in the executive ranks, like VPs of sales and chief revenue officers. And it's also great for anybody who just aspires to getting that point at some point in your career. Number 8, Crucial Conversations. Now, admittedly, this is not a dedicated sales management or sales leadership book, but one of the most important aspects of sales management is holding your salespeople accountable and being able to have tough conversations every now and then in a way that does not erode the relationship. Okay, this book teaches you a step-by-step framework for having difficult conversations with people that matter in a way that enrolls them into a greater level of accountability. Number 9, First Break All the Rules. Now, admittedly, this one also isn't a dedicated sales management or sales leadership book. It's more of a management book, but so much of sales leadership is people management, understanding what makes your people tick, what drives them, and extracting their raw talent into performance and translating that into revenue. In fact, that's the entire point of the book, or the thesis of the book, is they talk about how a manager's job is to take talent and turn it into a performance, right? And as a sales manager, your job is to take a talented salesperson and translate that into closed deals and translate that into revenue performance. And this book will teach you exactly how to do that. Number 10, what your CEO needs to know about sales compensation. This is the ultimate guide to understanding how to devise compensation plans in a way that helps you achieve the business's strategic objectives. Okay, so every sales leader at some point in their career, if they climb through the ranks, they're going to have to get very, very good at devising comp plans that help the business reach its strategic objectives. And this book will make you a master at that particular skill. Number 11, The Ultimate Sales Training Success Guide. Now, I have to admit, I actually am not in love with the author's writing style, but the frameworks and tactics in the book are incredible. Okay, the book walks you through a step-by-step framework called Get Deals that helps you take somebody from knowledge to skill, from teaching them to translating that knowledge into new behavior and new techniques that show up in the field and help your people close more deals. Okay, it's the ultimate way to take passive sales training and turn it into active new performance. Number 12, Never Hire a Bad Salesperson Again. This book goes deep on behavioral interviewing. Okay, this book is going to help you identify the traits that you need to hire great salespeople, such as grit, such as the need to achieve, coachability, etc. And then more importantly, how to interview those things in an accurate way so that you have a full picture of the candidate. This book pairs really well with Topgrading for Sales. If you combine both approaches, you'll be the ultimate hiring manager and you will have a far higher hit rate at hiring highly successful salespeople. Number 13, Make Winning a Habit. Now, this one is particularly for enterprise sales managers. And the book walks through in detail how top performing enterprise sales leaders manage their team, manage their business, and manage their pipeline in a way that creates a habit of winning. This is probably one of my favorite, even though we're pretty far down the list. So if you close decent sized deals, if you close $50,000 deals or more, make sure you give this one a read. Number 14, Coaching Salespeople into Sales Champions. This book goes incredibly deep on just one skill that sales managers need, which is coaching their people. It teaches you how to enroll your salespeople into a coaching conversation, how to get them bought in to having a coaching conversation and to aligning on skill gap improvements, and then how to ask different types of questions that extract greater performance, greater skills, and help your salespeople reach their potential. Number 15, The Accidental Sales Manager. This one will resonate with anybody who's only been in sales management for maybe 2 years or less, or maybe just transitioned into sales management. It's going to give you the nuts and bolts and foundations of being a strong sales manager. And finally, number 16, The Sales Manager's Guide to Greatness. This one's actually pretty similar to the last book that I just mentioned, even though it's not by the same author. It's almost like an extension of it, okay? It goes from foundations to going a little bit deeper into mastery over this profession we call sales management. So make sure you give that one a read. All right, so that's all I have for you today. Like I said, I've read probably in the neighborhood of 40 sales leadership and sales management books. I went on a mission a few years ago to read all of these books, and these are the 16 that I swear by. Now, if you feel like you got value out of this video, make sure you give it a like below. Write your favorite sales management or sales leadership below in the comments. And if you feel like this book would be valuable for the sales managers on your team, make sure you give it a share with them. And I'll see you in the next video.